Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel. If this is the first time you're visiting our channel, we want to extend to you a very warm welcome and invite you to view any of our over 650 videos arranged for your convenience in playlists, as we are confident you're going to find something both useful and entertaining to watch. If you've been here before, welcome back. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. So today we're going to start a multi-episode project, and that will be an organization entertainment center that goes around our TV. So let's go inside and we're going to show you exactly what we're talking about. So here we are inside, and this is the space we are going to try and fix. As you can see, it is usable, but it's not what we want, and it always gets overcrowded and overwhelmed, right? Mm-hmm. So we are going to build some shelving and units here to put entertainment things and also provide a little more storage. And the central piece, of course, is the TV. So we're going to be cognizant of where the TV is and try and build things around it, right?
Right. And you can see that we have a lot of things and it just becomes a flat spot with no real organization to it.
So we are going to, this is not going to be a one-day project. I think this might be our first one-day project, right? So it will take a few episodes, but we're going to take it slow, tell you our thought process, and show you exactly how we went around to build this. So stick around for what we think is going to be a fun, entertaining, and also informational couple of episodes. For a combination of reasons, one of them being the cost of wood these days, and the other the complexity of the problem and our need to finish it in a reasonable amount of time, we start with a purchased piece of furniture that we found at our local restore. And the cost for this was what?
Well, it was on discount today and it was $40, originally $95.
And we could not buy the wood for this for $40, right? I mean, this is solid wood. There is no particle board everywhere. This is all really good. In fact, you're going to see there are dovetails here. Side. Mm-hmm. So this is very well constructed. It's all wood, as you can see. And we're going to do some modifications. Now this piece has a couple of things we need to fix. First of all, this is a curved area and we need it to be flat.
Yeah, it's elevated. We really want it to be clean lines.
So this is something we have to address. Also, there is a little bit of damage on the side and we have to address that. And lastly, and probably the easiest thing that we do is there is some hardware in the back that we need to remove. This looks like it was a dresser. Yeah. And it had a mirror.
Yep, it sure did.
And because, you know, riveting episode, isn't it, so far? Mm-hmm. I need to...
This is the ugly part, and we got to make it beautiful, right?
Well, and the part after this will be we need to clean the whole piece, right?
Right.
And how we're going to clean it?
Well, we're going to use some vinegar water and some cloth to get the residue and dust off.
And eventually this is going to be painted, which is usually not our approach, but for our purposes we need. And actually on this piece, if we were just restoring this piece, I probably wouldn't paint it, right?
Right.
It is in reasonably good shape. It looks nice.
But we're also going to add to the structure, so we want it to look very
uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. And it does have quite a bit of wear.
And we're not going to try to fill this. This will give character even with the paint, right? The little.
And we searched a long time for a piece that was the right dimensions for our space. That's very, very important that the height, the depth, and the length of it be, you know, what you're looking for.
So we're going to get set up to do the cleaning up, which is the first step after you remove all the hardware, right?
Yep.
Which we did. Again, the first step is the non-glamorous step, right? It is necessary, however, for getting a very good finish, right? Yep. And this has been dirty, has not been cleaned. And again, what we're using, Mrs. Wizard?
Vinegar water. I use about a half and half solution.
And that does a good job of cutting through the crud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even as you clean it, you can see immediately a nice popping out of
And you can
I mean,
see
yeah, you can see how much just this little piece does, right? So, but even with cleaning, if you were refinishing this piece, you almost don't need to do much to the top, right? I mean, this looks to be in pretty good shape.
I don't know what these little circles are
I'm
about.
sure they had a glass on top of it, and those were the... And what Miss Wizard is talking about, I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, these are little circles that they are everywhere. Maybe we need to use our plastic blades and remove them, because I think that is something there. I don't think it's... Do you remember where the plastic thing is? Anyway, we're not going to show you the whole cleaning. I mean, I presume everyone knows how to clean, but you will need to go through the whole thing, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately. A very non-sexy, non-exciting job. But we're going to do some modifications. We're thinking not to use the top 3 drawers, right?
Yep. They're going to become shelves.
Right, we'll make them console shelves, which means we're going to create some finished part there. So we're going to do that, and we are going to, well, I don't know what the next step exactly is, but we're going to get with you. So these little, what I suspect were glass feet, have to be removed, because if we don't remove them, they will saw through the paint, right?
Yep.
So I'm using my new favorite tool, which is a plastic scraper. And we'll probably have to, oh there, that came out nice, one piece.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what it was, that was a glass piece. So this does a good job, and in general it doesn't do a lot of marring to the wood. Here I took some of the paint off, or the stain off, because there was a lot of glue residue, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay, there's
again,
several more, and we'll take all of those off.
you can see that would have made a nice, very visible circle on the paint, right? I mean,
Yep.
that had to be removed. And it was in all corners, and I think...
Some in the middle.
There,
Yep.
there is another one.
There, it's here, and some along the back there.
And some of them are harder than others. Like this is a little harder. Now the ideal tool for this project will be a hand planer, a sander, and this tool. I thought this tool would be a little faster. We'll make it faster, but I think a planer is a better tool.
Mm-hmm.
You will do some damage here, that's unavoidable, but again, we're going to have to sand this whole piece anyway, so that is not a big concern right now. So we're trying to find the best solution in doing this, right? And the previous solution works, but it is very slow. So we switch to the Japanese saw, hoping that this will give us a better speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? Will give us a better speed?
It's going okay, unless you're going too deep.
But I don't know what my angle is. That's my only concern.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, maybe I'll use a combination of both, like do this with that, and then come and cut the other side.
Okay.
And my concern is with this, so for our audience, I cannot control my angle very well. I think it is okay, but come on the side and look. Does it looks like I'm going down, or I'm staying the same?
It looks like you're going down.
Okay. So here we are, we finished taking the bevel off, and we have a little bit of damage, which is unavoidable, I think, but as you can see, most of the area is not even affected, and this will be taken care of when we sand, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is mostly have taken the finish off them, which looks like a varnish to me, you know?
Yep.
So this actually is a nice clean cut, and with sanding will be perfect, I think.
Yep.
Now, the interesting thing we found is that this is a very good tool, and definitely to start it, but we found out that the Japanese pull saw was a better tool
For making it
for most of it.
a
It
level
cuts
cut.
faster.
Yep.
But we couldn't have started with the Japanese tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was the correct tool to start with. So using those two tools for us worked very well. If you have a hand planer, I think that will be the best option. It will give you the cleanest look. But you will still have to sand, right? I mean, you
Yep.
cannot avoid sanding.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next step. Stick around and we'll figure out what that is. So when we switch from the oscillating tool to the pull saw, we have a little lip, and we are trying to completely eliminate that lip. Here we are, we remove the top 3 drawers, and I personally hate to not use any of them because they're very well constructed drawers, but the look we're going is for a top that it is all open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to try to do that. We're going to have to move the hardware next. Again, you could leave the middle open and then have 2 drawers, but it is totally a matter of taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no right and wrong here. So we're going to remove the hardware next, and we'll of course have to figure out something to create a nice, what you would call it, finish here.
Yep.
So we remove the hardware from inside that was aligning the drawers. And now we're trying to decide if we're going to keep these supports or not. These are to support the top because it's quite a long, big length, right?
Mm-hmm.
But depending on how much weight we're going to put on this, I'm not sure if they're necessary or not. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we can think about that and see what we want to do.
Now we're going to create a floor because, as you can see, this is not...
Yep. It's not built to hold weight or of any kind, and it's recessed, so we want it to be more of a flat surface, like a shelf.
So for this, we'll either use MDF or plywood, and we haven't decided yet.
Okay.
So after investigating this, we discovered that there is nothing supporting it here, and this is a very thin piece of wood. It really doesn't provide substantial support to anything. So we decided to remove those. So here goes nothing. All right. Sometimes the best way is passive persuasion, right?
Yeah, that, and don't be afraid to just do it.
And we just take those screws from the bottom and
Yeah. Good.
then we'll move on. So the story of this build, it was rather dirty inside. So we are going to, Miss Wizard is cleaning it. Again, these are the early stages of this metamorphosis. So a lot of what we're doing is rather mundane, but also very necessary, right? So you need to clean it well, and I think our next step will be to cut. I think we're going to go with plywood. Is that what we decided? As the base. Now we do not have plywood that it is wide enough, so we are going to have 2 pieces of plywood connected. So we're going to get into cutting plywood, and we'll be right back. So because we need to cut plywood, we need to change blades. Well, I guess we don't need to, but it's a good idea because we have a rough cutting blade on the saw right now, and that will generate a lot of chip out, which Mrs. Wizard doesn't want.
No, I don't like splintery chip outs with plywood. If it's meant to be pretty and showing, it should not have that.
And you can see the difference in the teeth here, right?
Oh yeah, big difference.
Now, don't take me wrong, this does a very good job in cutting, but if you try to cut plywood, it will chip it out. And last time I did that, I think I did it backwards, didn't I? The cutting should be towards you. Mm-hmm. You see there is an arrow there?
Yep.
Blade motion. So they try to make it stupid proof, but sometimes you're tired. Or the last time I did the mistake, I don't know why I did the mistake, but mistakes happen, and the sign that you put the blade backwards is that your piece will want to lift. Actually, the blade will try to cut, but as you feeding the piece is going to want to lift, right? Because you are hitting it with this part of the blade
Right.
instead of the teeth. So it's not the most horrible thing you can do in the world, but it's not the best thing you can do in the world either. So, all right, let's. And here's our first dry fit, and here's our plywood. So you can see it start taking shape, right? So we decided it's unavoidable for us to have a seam because we do not have a piece of plywood that long, and we're going to use what we have. There is no reason to go because we have extra plywood. So the way this will end will be with a seam here, which of course is doable, but we thought it would look better if the seam is in the middle, almost like continuing this line. So we are going to cut both pieces. We made a mark here.
Yep.
And we are going to cut it on this mark, and then we're going to cut the other piece
The
to
same.
fit, right?
Yep.
So we're going to do that, and we're going to show you the next step. So all the previous hardware is removed, and we have cut our two pieces of plywood that will create our shelving unit here. And we're going to start by putting a bit of glue all around the raised parts of this
These
interior, whatever.
braces, that are going to hold it up.
So we're going to put glue and then put the pieces on top. I think you want the other one. Oh, that's type won't do. Why?
Yeah.
Well, I think we need 3. I think this is almost out. I don't think you have enough for...
I think we have enough.
Okay.
I can go get more if we need more.
Well, we don't have any more too. So again, the job of taking the hardware off is not glamorous, but it's necessary, right? It's something you have to do. And the reason we put glue here is actually it's going to add strength. It's going to hold the ply together to the frame. And when it dries, it will not only keep it in place, but will actually add some strength to the whole thing. So put glue there, liberal amounts of glue. And then put your pieces on. Unfortunately, our brad nailer is too tall, right?
Yep.
So we have to revert to manual operations. Now you don't need too many nails because the glue will do the majority of the work. And the nails are just for the glue to dry and for the pieces not to move. That's pretty much it, right? Alright, so with the glue set, we're going to put our pieces on. And the transformation has started. Just choose the correct edge. And you can see almost immediately the piece start changing when you put something heavy in there, so that doesn't lift. You can get the heavy hammer. No, the heavy hammer is on the other side. So here, until we connect it, we are putting something to hold it in place.
It's not heavy enough.
Did it move? Is it still tight here?
Yep.
Okay. And now the second piece. And here you want a tight fit, right?
Yep.
So.
And we could not get it any tighter. Really nice.
So as you can see, our connection here is very nice. And now we're going to start using a couple of nails and hammer them in. What are you doing? Alright, so start with the corners and then come to the joint, and so here. Now this will go much easier if we had the height to use our brad nailer, but we don't, so sometimes you have to use what you have. And in this instance, yeah, remember where the thing is. Don't go outside the thickness of the thing. Open the drawers, really. And there we go. Not the easiest thing to do, but a necessary thing. Again, we're going to do that all around, and we're going to come right back. So we're contemplating putting a trim piece here to dress the edge. Otherwise it looks like this, and we don't like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the suggestions, the ideas we have, and we are going to decide. We haven't decided yet, and that is a later time, but just to give you an idea of what we're thinking at this moment.
Yeah, it definitely gives it more of a finished look.
And this is a test piece, by the way. This will have to be a nice piece, not a noted one.
Right.
But that, I think, will make it will give it a nice finished look.
Yep, definitely.
So that is what we're thinking now. Of course, already in this project we've changed our mind 3 or 4 times about things. So, but if you want to go down there, you can show them the shelf now. You can see the shelf is formed, and we are happy with this. Actually, quite happy.
Looks nice.
So the next step will be a repair we need to do on that leg, and start painting, I guess, right?
Sure.
Now you don't need to do extensive sanding on this because you're painting it. So paint will adhere, and this is quite worn out. I mean, if it had a lot of lacquer and things, it will not, but it really doesn't. So what we're going to do is probably hit it very quickly with hand sanding, just to take any oils primarily, not really anything else. And then I would like to use probably either Bondo or caulking to take care of all of these little gaps here that before they were not important, but now that we're going to paint it, we want an even surface, right? So a couple of more finishing touches, and we're going to show you. And we made a discovery that this furniture is actually a lane. I don't know if you can go in.
Yep.
And if you want to show the dovetails on the corners of the drawers, so they're pretty decently made.
Very nice hardwood.
Nothing is particle board. Everything is. I mean, the bottoms of the drawers seem to be plywood, but that is totally acceptable for a drawer, right?
Yep. Very good construction.
That's one of the fun things when you buy something like this. You really don't know exactly what you're going to find, right?
Right.
All right, so we're going to get the prep going to start painting. So even though we have just started, you already see the transformation of this piece starting to take shape. And we're going to take the sheen off with a little bit of sanding. You don't need to get all the way to the wood. It is not necessary for this piece. If you are refinishing this piece and you wanted to stain it, you will have to go down to the wood. But since we're going to paint it, that is not a necessary process. And I apologize for my compressor working. We use it to make sure that there is no dust or any particles left on the piece itself yet. So we are going to start doing a little sanding, and we'll be right back with you. Again, we want to scuff it, and we want to remove any clear bumps or anything like that that will make the paint not last very well. Yeah. Try to take those off. And I think it's visible here, but you can see the sheen is going away very quickly, and that will give us a surface that the paint will adhere to very nicely. Now this is going to be another lengthy process, and there is not much you can do about it. It's something that has to be done. So stick around and we'll be right back. And wipe the sawdust with a clean cloth, and the sheen is about completely gone. I don't know if you remember a moment ago there was a lot of sheen on this piece, and you can see it on the drawers, right? They're much shinier. It was like that. So here's the top minus the sheen, and we don't mind these little imperfections, right? They give it a little bit of character. So we are going to, are we going to caulk first, or just going to try and see how it looks white? What's the plan?
Yeah, we'll probably caulk first.
All right, folks, so we're going to do a little bit of caulking. We'll be right back. So Miss Wizard has finished doing a light sanding on every piece that we're going to paint. And again, we don't need to do everything here because all we care is for the paint to adhere. It is not critical to do anything else. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a test run right now, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, normally on a piece like that we wouldn't paint, but for our purposes this is the exception, right?
Yep.
You might want to turn the fan off. That's why all your spray is going away. And I'm sure this will take more than a coat, right?
Oh yeah. This piece is a little big to fit out in our paint shop. Our typical paint room.
But still, you can see the initial transformation, right? And I think it will look really good when we are done. So here is our damage, and we are going to use some elastic wood putty here to make it even everywhere and pliable. This does not need structural support, it's very structurally sound, right? I mean, it's just a cosmetic thing. So another way to fix that is to cut all the way through and then put a little equal size piece of wood there. And if that was a structural thing, that would be the preferred way of doing it, right? But since this is just cosmetic, we're going to just use some putty and shape it to look exactly like the rest of it.
Okay.
So we'll get our putty and we'll get going. So we're using DAP plastic wood. We are not sponsored. We purchased this. It was not given to us. It is something I've used in the past with good results, so I like it, and we're going to use it again for this business. And we just bought some. We hope it is enough for our purpose here, right? So we're just going to scoop some from the container here. This is stainable and paintable, and we're going to let it set, and tomorrow we're going to have to sand it a little bit, right?
Yep.
And probably the sanding will allow us to make it, to do the bull nose, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think, yeah, a little bit of bull nose, yeah.
So we're going to let that dry. How does it look to you?
I think you might need a little more because it looks like it dips inward here rather than being flush.
Where?
There. Yeah, at the bottom.
Okay, it doesn't look like much until you sand it, right? And I'm not doing anything on the side because this will have to be sanded to be a curve. Do I need more to build, you think?
Yeah. So right here you can see we have a flat corner.
So work it until you have a result that you're happy, other than the sanding. Like you will see lines. but they will sand. So it doesn't look like much now. It looks like kind of ugly, but you can see that the big gap is gone, right? And when we sand it tomorrow, and if we need to, we can put a little more tomorrow, right? A thin, if something is not looking good, but it looks good for what I see right now. We're going to let it dry overnight, and when it's painted, after we save it with some sanding tomorrow, I think you will not know it was ever damaged.
Hopefully, that's the idea.
Yep. So that's all, folks. Well, friends, and this is how far we could come today. This is a project that will take a couple of days to finish for sure, and it is not just for the whole project. It will take us at least 2 days to finish this, and then this is going to be the centering of the project, if you wish, right?
Right.
Everything else will be built around this in a fashion of sorts. So we have finished this. Miss Wizard put some clear caulking here, and the purpose for the caulking is when you paint it, instead of seeing this line, it will paint over the caulking and it will look like one surface, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Yep.
And we're going to put some caulking there too, and there we're going to use some white caulking, and it's the same purpose, right? If you don't put caulking, you're going to see a black line, almost like it was drawn by a pencil, because of the two different surfaces, right? Our connection is pretty good. The joint is very good, and we do need to dress a little bit the front, but we're going to do that shortly. And it starts getting the overall shape, and you can see it is different than what we started. It's different than the first one.
Yeah, it's a very nice console piece, and it's going to fit right in with our overall plan of the TV surround.
So this will have to do it for today. It is a very hot day here in North Carolina, and we really cannot do much more. We need to go and prevent ourselves from overheating. So we're going to stop for today, and we might continue tomorrow. But in any case, not every project you are going to attempt is going to finish in a couple of hours, and sometimes you have to allow for more time.
And it would really depend too, if you were trying to customize a piece for yourself, it would really depend on how much of it you would need to alter to fit your taste.
Right, sometimes you can find a piece that after you clean it, you can use it. Definitely for us, this is all very nice wood, and it's almost bad that we're painting it, but it just cannot be used at the form it is.
No, it's too kind of beat up, and it's served a really good purpose, and we plan to repurpose it for ourselves.
In any case, we do hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, a thumbs up would be appreciated. If you didn't, the other button works as well. Share, like, subscribe, and let us know what else you might want to see in this episode. Again, this is part 1 of the series, and we're going to complete this piece hopefully next time. And after we complete it, we're going to start building the other custom pieces that will complete the sample, right?
Yep.
From Dr. Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, and the Urban Homesteading Center channel, stay safe, wash your hands, put your masks on, get vaccinated, and we're going to see you soon. Stay safe, friends.